Kyrol New Horizon Chapter 1.
Wake up, Kyrol. We will be arriving soon.
Kyrol opens his eyes and slowly gets up.
Can't wait to finally be home. It's been weeks since I've last seen Daisha, and Liam even longer.
You have had a grueling mission. You are due for some rest. But first I need you to see Master Zoe to fill out the mission report.
But Master, I thought you handled the reports.
I have, but one day it will be your responsibility to handle the reports.
Yes, Master.
Master Xena softly pats his shoulder while giving a soft grin.
Come now, we're almost there.
Kyrol gives a big smile as they take their respective seats as Master Xena steers the vessel into the hangar of the Jedi Temple. As the ship lands, Kyrol can see many Jedi entering and leaving the hangar.
Wow, so many Jedi are leaving. Is it really that bad on the core worlds? I thought it was just the mid and outer rim that were facing hardship.
The Republic has been facing its own challenges. Assassination attempts have sadly become far too common. Many in the Order have begun to relocate back to Coruscant to rebuild the Jedi presence there. Soon we may all have to relocate there.
Kyrol gives her a look that is both surprised and concerned.
But Tython is our home. It's all any of us have known.
I know, but sometimes we must do what is best for the wider galaxy as opposed to ourselves. Remember, we serve the people, and if the people of the core need us, then that is where we must be.
Kyrol sits quietly, thinking about what Master Xena said. Landing safely, Master Xena presses a button on the control panel, which lowers the ramp allowing the two to exit the vessel.
I must report to the Council. Remember to go see Master Zoe.
Yes, Master.
Kyrol makes his way out of the hangar, seeing droids working on all kinds of ships and even more Jedi entering the hangar. Just as he's about to exit the hangar, he hears someone.
Been gone 5 weeks and I don't get a hello? Looks like the outer rim took away all your manners, Gundark.
Kyrol smiles as he turns around to see Daisha Kuvi leaning against the wall with her arms crossed, while smiling that same cocky grin she always had.
And I see that Master Harkin still hasn't managed to get rid of your sarcasm.
The two walk up to each other.
Have you heard anything from Liam? I've been leaving him transmissions, but with no response.
Wish I could say I had. It is silent on my end. He's been gone for almost a year. You think there would be something?
Maybe he had to go undercover. Considering it's Master Elazar, it would not be surprising. I know he will be fine. Anyways, what kind of mission had you go away for 5 weeks?
Kyrol takes a short pause, reflecting back on his assignment before continuing.
We were sent to Lothal to deal with an increase in spice trafficking. Apparently, Senator Veter was dealing with them for the extra credits. During the investigation, Senator Veter's daughter was kidnapped by the criminals.
Daisha scoffs.
Probably in some desperate attempt to keep Senator Veter from snitching on their joint operation.
Kyrol nods his head in agreement.
That was my theory, but it could never be proven. We found the senator's daughter and took down the criminals. Senator Veter has also agreed to step down as his dealings were made public.
Sounds like you had quite the adventure while I've been stuck here.
Well, since you've been here, you're probably more skilled than last time.
Daisha, how many times are you going to miss training?
Kyrol and Daisha quickly turn to see Master Harkin standing at the exit, arms crossed and angry.
This is the second time this week. Let's go now.
Daisha lowers her head in embarrassment.
Sorry, Master Harkin.
She follows her master while keeping her head lowered. Kyrol always knew Master Harkin was one of the strictest masters in the Order, but whenever he sees it in person it always surprises him, especially compared to Master Xena. As Kyrol walks to the briefing room, he sees many Jedi training and thinks back to what Master Xena said. Was it better for the galaxy if the Order left their ancestral homeworld? He continues to ponder this question until he makes his way to the briefing room and finds an older female carrying a small stack of datapads.
Here, let me help you with those, Master.
As Kyrol grabs half of the stack.
Thank you, Padawan. Now how can I help you?
I'm looking for Master Zoe. I'm supposed to give them the mission report.
Well, looks like you just found her. Follow me.
Master Zoe guides Kyrol into another room full of datapads and a large table.
Now, tell me about your mission, in detail.
Well, myself and Master Xena were assigned to go to Lothal to deal with an increase in spice trafficking. While there we discovered that Senator Veter was working with the spice runners for some extra credits. They must have gotten wind of us and thought Senator Veter might rat them out, so they kidnapped his daughter. We found them and put a stop to the spice trade on Lothal.
Very well then. It appears Lothal owes you both gratitude. I need you to fill out this data pad with information such as expenses and other important information.
Kyrol grabs the data pad and finds a quiet place to sit. Once finished, he hands it to Master Zoe and leaves the briefing room. Noticing it's still light outside, he decides to head to the Jedi archives for some research. As he enters the archives, he notices many younglings looking at him with awe. A part of Kyrol hated the attention younglings gave him whenever they saw him. It was never about glory, but doing the right thing. Yet he couldn't help but admire them, wanting to be just like him. He finds a desk in a corner to try and get some research done. He scrolls through the archives, finding more information about psychometry. After many hours of searching, he can find no new information on the skill. Thinking for a moment, he decides to change topics and tries to find any information of the Jedi explorer, Justra Mincer. He spends about an hour researching, finding nothing in the archives. Kyrol pulls his head back from the computer and sees a young Padawan looking at him from behind a pillar. The Padawan couldn't have been older than 10 years old. Kyrol sees him and gives a gesture to tell the Padawan to come over. The Padawan was very timid at first, but slowly made his way over to Kyrol.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be with your master?
The Padawan looks down in shame.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. I just wanted to see you. I admire you a lot, and just wanted to ask you some questions. Please don't be mad.
Don't worry, I'm not mad. What's your name?
It's Dagon Ozel.
Well, Dagon, ask away.
Dagon lifts his head to face Kyrol and smiles brightly. Dagon asks many questions, most of which were about the Shadow Cult 2 years ago.
And this is the last one. What does it feel like to have a cybernetic arm? Can you still, use the Force? Or could you turn your hand into a lightsaber?
This last question caught Kyrol off guard, not expecting that kind of question. He pauses for a moment and looks at his cybernetic before facing Dagon.
It's like having a piece of myself missing. Well, not a literal piece. The Force itself feels weaker through the cybernetic. The feeling is different, and when channeling the Force, there's a microsecond of delay.
Dagon stands there with a look of both sorrow and amazement.
Dagon, where's your master right now? He must be worried about you.
Just as Dagon is about to answer, his name is called as a Twi'lek Jedi approaches.
Dagon, there you are. Why did you run off from training?
Master Skull?
Master Skull sees Kyrol with his student.
Ah, Kyrol, how long have you been back?
Just came in today. I didn't know you had taken on a new student.
I love to teach Kyrol, and Dagon here has one of the brightest minds I have ever seen. Now come, Dagon, let's continue your training.
Kyrol continues his research on Justra Mincer, hoping to find something, yet every trace of her has been erased. Kyrol notices it getting darker and decides to head back to his quarters for some needed rest. He opens the door to his quarters, placing his cloak on his desk chair and his lightsaber on the desk before sitting on the bed. He lays down, and not even 5 minutes pass before his chronometer goes off. Kyrol sighs as he picks it up.
Hey, it's me. Meet me in the usual spot.
Kyrol reluctantly gets back up, putting on his cloak and fixing his lightsaber to his belt. Leaving his room, and walking towards the main entrance of the temple. The temple was quiet, with only a few Jedi walking around. As he gets close to the main entrance, he is approached by 2 temple guards.
Out for an evening stroll, Padawan?
Yes, I am.
Very well then. On your way.
The guards move out of the way, giving Kyrol the space to walk. Leaving the temple grounds, Kyrol feels a gentle breeze as he surveys the area and sees a large hill in the distance and walks towards it, following an old dirt trail that leads up the large hill. He makes his way up to the top and can see the ancient seeing stone. It had begun to be overgrown with foliage due to the lack of care. Placing his cybernetic hand on the ancient rock, he felt the warm stone clash with the cold metal. Turning his head, he could see the Jedi Temple, the golden glow of the setting sun giving the structure an otherworldly appearance as it shined brightly. And there, sitting on the edge of the hill, overlooking the view of the temple, was Dacia. For the past year, the two would always meet in this spot to just unwind for the stresses of being a Jedi. The two always felt a strong connection to this place, as if the Force itself was guiding them to it.
Okay, why did you call me all the way up here?
As he gets closer to Dacia, he notices that she isn't wearing the traditional robes that she was wearing earlier. These were different, It was more like a sleeveless flexible bodysuit with a predominantly brown color with bits of gold, yet it still had the same flair as the traditional robes.
What are you wearing?
Daisha gets up from her spot to face her friend.
Master Harkin gave this to me. He says it will help with my lightsaber combat considering I am learning more about how to incorporate acrobatics into my fighting style, and this would be something less hindering. I also have something else to show you.
She smiles before detaching her lightsaber from her belt. She ignites the weapon and quickly splits it in two, holding each one in a reverse grip before spinning the blades in a show of dark green light. Daisha reattaches them and deignites the lightsaber.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Figured after our battle with the Sith assassin or whatever its name was, learning Jar-Kai wasn't a bad option.
The two sit next to each other on the edge of the hill watching the sun set.
So, do you think Liam is really okay? We both know he's capable, but to go this long without a message is not like him.
Daisha looks at the sun for a moment before turning to Kyrol.
Even in the 2 years I've known Liam, he is by far the most capable Padawan. I know he's just fine. I'm sure he will be back soon with so many tales for us.
Kyrol smiles softly as the two face the setting sun, the golden light shining all around.
Do you think Sunmink will be found? Considering his species is so rare, you think he'd be easy to find?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, his species is rare, but he was also good at hiding his tracks. Honestly, if it wasn't for us, he may have never been discovered.
I just wish we could find him and finally get some closure to this whole thing, for those who fell and for Liam.
Yeah, I don't think Liam has still fully gotten over what happened.
The two sit there in silence until the sun is almost completely gone.
I guess we should head back. Master Harkin is putting me through a new training regimen and wants me to be up early. Gonna come with me?
She says as she gets up.
I think I'll sit here for a bit longer.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Take care.
Kyrol continues to sit there until it is almost completely dark, thinking about Liam, Zunmink, the state of the galaxy, and Daisha. As he leaves, he gets this feeling that something about Daisha was different, but he couldn't quite place it. It obviously wasn't her outfit. Could it be her mannerisms? No, it couldn't have been that. They were exactly the same as usual, he thinks to himself. Could it have been something else? Choosing not to dwell on it, Kyrol heads back to his quarters for some much-needed rest. It had been a long day, and right now his bed felt like the best thing in the galaxy at the moment. Re-entering his quarters, Kyrol places his lightsaber on his desk and takes off his cloak, placing it on the chair. He falls into his bed and quickly falls asleep. Hopefully tomorrow will be an easy day.